Hi, my name is Daniel Gibson, and today I'll be presenting my manager interview on Noreen Kinohi. So, for a brief background of Noreen Kinohi, I was able to initiate a conversation with her through LinkedIn, and thanks to that conversation, I was able to set up an interview and talk with her about her career and her experiences as a manager. I chose her because she has extensive experience, not just as a manager, but also a CEO of her own company. She runs Noreen's Dance Collaborative, and that is her favorite job. The reason she loves her job so much is because she loves dance, she loves working with children, and she has for her entire career. She is also the regional program director for Reading Partners. You can see their logo on the bottom right of the page. Reading Partners is an educational nonprofit that seeks to teach younger children how to read. She loves education and she's been working in an educational field for her entire life. She worked in education through kindercare as a start before she had her degree. She went up to the Job Corps. Then she transferred from the Job Corps to Reading Partners, and she also has run Noreen's Dance Collaborative for over 6 years. Education was a big part of her personal life as well. She got two associate's degrees, one for psychology and one for child development. She then was able to get a degree in business administration with a concentration in psychology from San Jose State University. Then she was able to get a master's in business administration. She uses all of these degrees in her everyday life. Since she works in childcare, her psychology and child development degree were very valuable. She recommends that anybody who is seeking to go into childcare pursue something along those lines. She also feels that her MBA is very useful in her day to day life. As a CEO, she has to know about finance and about many of the other topics discussed in the MBA program. She also uses them at her other job as well to manage effectively and to achieve organizational goals. She's a very experienced leader, and she's learned a lot over the years as well. One thing she wished she knew when she was younger is that it's okay to get things wrong. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay if you can't quite get to the point that you want to be at as a manager. Mistakes happen, and as long as you maintain a strong organizational culture, everything will be all right. So, the first chapter I'm going to discuss is chapter one. This slide is entirely dedicated to it. It's the biggest chapter, and a lot of her leadership relates to it. So, she is a top manager at her job, and she is also a CEO at Noreen's Dance Collaborative. This relates to the pyramid you see in the top right on how CEOs run things, and then top managers, and then middle managers, and then first line managers. She has a very important job as the director for Reading Partners. And because of this, she has had to work on her communication and her managing style. There's an interesting difference between managers and entrepreneurs, as discussed in chapter one as well. A manager is someone who leads others, like through the four tasks of management you see in the bottom right. They have to plan, organize, lead, and control. An entrepreneur sees a need in society and is able to meet that. Noreen is both a manager through her work as a CEO managing people and through her job as a top manager. She is also an entrepreneur. By founding Noreen's Dance Collaborative, she is a social entrepreneur. It is a nonprofit that seeks to teach younger children how to dance. She's projecting in the next 10 years they will move not just towards more dancing, but they will also seek to do after school programs and help children no matter what their income level is. Employees and work culture. So she prioritizes psychological safety at work above all else. That is the type of work culture that she wants. She wants people to come in to her office feeling safe, feeling heard, and feeling strong. This relates to the top two levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as seen in chapter 9: esteem and love and belonging. She wants people to feel proud of their job. She wants them to feel confidence. She wants them to feel respected. And she also wants them to feel like they belong and that they are contributing. She recognizes the contributions of the individuals she manages to help with expectancy. She wants her employees to feel like what they're doing has actual impacts on the organization and is actually being seen. This is very important for her to maintain because it prevents social loafing, as seen in chapter 11. Social loafing is when a person slacks off in a group because they feel their contributions aren't being seen or won't make a major impact. By recognizing the contributions of each individual, she is able to circumvent social loafing and increase their motivation. She values emotional intelligence above all else. I asked Kathleen, if you could hire a person based on one factor alone, what would you hire them for? She didn't say qualifications. She didn't say technical ability. She said emotional intelligence. It is one of the biggest things because emotional intelligence can't really be taught. It's very difficult to learn it, at least. Everything else, technical ability, managing the job, learning the new skills, are very easy to teach in relation. Emotional intelligence is discussed in both Chapter 10 and Chapter 2 regarding employees and managers. She also exhibits emotional intelligence to try to motivate her employees and try to understand how they're feeling and what she can do to improve their day and improve their output as employees. She leads as an example to inspire as well. She tries to promote work culture by trying to show them she's happy to show up to work, she gets stuff done, she keeps a positive attitude, and she starts achieving many goals. She seeks to have a work culture full of people who have great chemistry and who are able to collaborate in a meaningful manner. Hiring and firing employees. This is part of the job that no one wants to deal with. This involves HR, and this involves a very long paperwork process. Hiring and firing employees relates mainly to Chapter 12 because that involves the HR process. And she has been lucky in her job because many of her jobs don't involve a union. Unions can complicate things because they get ultimate say in what happens to an employee with threats of strikes, and there's a strict code you have to follow. Noreen evaluates people during the hiring process for terminal and instrumental values. She wants to see where these people are going to be in the future and how they're going to have a beneficial impact on her organization. This relates to Chapter 2 because these are the things we discussed. The selection process in Chapter 12 is the best time to weed out bad candidates. The selection process should be reasonably long, not too long, but reasonably long and reasonably stringent. It should be the best time to select an employee and see how their contributions are going to make an impact. It is extremely vital that you get the right employees hired because offboarding someone, firing them, is very difficult and very painful. She said that firing an employee is her least favorite part of the job, but it's also necessary in some instances. She is sure to dot her I's and cross her T's when it comes to having issues with an employee for paperwork reasons and for avoiding any potential lawsuits in the future. This relates to class because Nancy said the same thing word for word. It's very important to be intentional with all of your paperwork and have everything done in an important and timely manner. Artificial intelligence. Her job requires a lot of personal interaction. Think of Chapter 10, Fielder's contingency model. She has a relationship-oriented motivation, contingency model. She has a relationship-oriented management style. And this is something that can't really be replaced by AI. She uses AI in her job day to day, but it's just for drafting emails or coming up with some ideas that she can then work on. It has no impact on her personal communications, which is a major part of her job. AI does not have a major impact not only on her job, but since she has such a high education level, it's not something that she feels is going to take over at any point of time. She uses it for convenience and nothing else. So thank you for watching my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.